Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show brought to you by Incense, Seguno, Postscript, and AMP. It is March 5th, 2026, and advertising is still good. Ignorance is still expensive, and the American dream is alive on the internet. Today, we have got a jam-packed show for you today. Andrew Foxwell has dropped the 2026 State of Agencies report. Some interesting information there. But also sometimes the more things change, the more they stay the same. Netflix has tapped Amazon's juicy shopping data to help target CTV ads. And at that $30 CPM price, shocking. Is this an instant buy? I kind of think so. Sean Stone from Spillover Commerce is going to join us to talk about helping legacy Amazon brands move over and juice up their own Shopify store. And Jason Levin, chief meme lord of the internet, will join us to talk about meme marketing and why it still makes millions and maybe billions. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get inside of this show.
Let's go. You got a new shirt.
I did.
Let's go.
I got a new shirt, and I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah, no,
I
like it. You got to change it up more.
Okay, I think I will change it up more. Speaking of changing up, Andrew Foxwell's State of Agency report from 2026 has come out, and I want to read some of these juicy tweets because I felt like there's some surprising information here, but also some things that maybe not so surprising are still the case today as they were in yesteryear. First thing that stands out to me, half of agency owners, Colin, 50.4% say their number one challenge right now is lead pipeline, not AI, not churn, not margins. It's getting enough leads. In 2026, the hardest part of running an agency is still filling the top of the funnel. Next, he says further down, how do you do that? How do you fill the pipeline? To me, this is the age-old question. I mean, I've been on the agency side multiple times. The question is always, how do I actually get more people that I want? 67% say referrals and word of mouth are how they are primarily getting their clients. Only 5.7% use paid advertising. And then further down, how many agency leaders say that AI replacing their services is the single biggest risk to their business over the next 12 to 24 months? Only 30.4%. Only 30.4%.
Interesting.
Maybe there's a lot of talk, a lot of hubbub on the internet. Oh, AI is going to demolish everybody on the service side. Agency leaders don't really feel that way. Only 30% feel that is a real threat over the next year or two. But here's the twist. AI-powered services is also the number one ranked growth opportunity for agencies. So very interesting. On the AI-generated ad side, I found this to be significant. Only 11% say they've produced clear top-performing winners with AI-generated ads. Only 11%. I found this to be fascinating and maybe gives credence to some of the voices out there who are saying human-led, human-featured ads are still going to be the top winners of the day. There's more information here, but I'd like to stop there for now. Colin, as we review some of this, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the pipeline. This is always the age-old question. How do I get more of these blessed clients that I want? What stands out for you here as we get into some of this? Anything remain the same regardless of what's happening? Anything stand out to you as otherwise and unusual, something that we should double click on?
Yeah, I think a really interesting thing is I think only a 2% or 3% of that was using paid ads to get your leads into the pipeline, which is kind of ironic because, you think of agency and you think of it's a kind of a pay-to-play model where they should be able to get their own clients. It's kind of ironic. But I have seen this being on the other side of, inside of agencies and consulting with agencies before, where referrals are the strongest beast. Referrals always are the strongest beast, and the word of mouth is always the best way to get new clients. There's an interesting thing to be said about this is how do you incentivize that referral relationship, or do you not incentivize it at all? And you just try to do some more value add for said person that gave you a referral. So it's not a direct, spiff back to them, but it's something like, hey, I really appreciate that. I got somebody else for you too. Here you go. It's an interesting dichotomy. It's a lot of partner management.
It's an interesting point you bring up. Why not more paid advertising inside of the space, especially since our agency brethren, this is their
They're
this
the
is their
guys.
go-to. They're the guys. They're the guys who know it better than anyone. I think it's a good
Yeah.
point. I think it's a good point. There
Yeah.
is a particular operator out of the Southeast. I cannot remember his name right now. I think it's Eddie Malouf. I cannot remember his name right now, but he
Sure.
is always on this train. And I feel like he uses paid advertising in an exceptional way. And he's talking about this regularly for agencies running a low ticket product inside to get business owners inside of your funnel to then upsell them later on services, and that kind of low ticket product being useful and helpful for establishing that funnel a little further. But like you said, at the end of the day, if somebody gives me a personal recommendation, hey, these guys crushed for us, I mean, it's like, is there any better way to
It's
actually get
huge.
business?
Yeah, it's huge. And a lot of this is thinking about incentivizing those folks directly. I've done this before in the past for consulting for people where I'll say, hey, if you give me somebody back, I will cut you off 20% of whatever we agree upon for the contract. And so
Yeah, why not?
you pay them every single month. Hey, you don't have to do any work. You just refer me a client. I'll cut you 20% of that every single month. I basically do all the work and you get all the cash flow from it. So it's an interesting thing where you kind of have to balance it, where it's like you still need to make sure you're delivering the services and you're still
Yeah, you got to
exceptional
do a
at
good job.
that role. But people do, get incentivized pretty well. And I think Charlie Munger said, "Show me the incentives, and I'll show you the outcome." And
Yeah.
so you want to incentivize folks around you to intro folks to talk to you. You increase your surface area of luck just by
Yeah.
that.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Right. I found it interesting on the performance side, AI generated creative on only 11% have said those are top bangers as of yet,
Yeah.
while also AI led services, number one growth opportunity, kind of an interesting dichotomy playing out there.
Yeah.
Um, why agencies lose clients? This was surprising to me. This is
Yeah.
further down in Andrew's tweet, but 29% clients move in house. Okay, that I could see that. I could see
I
that.
could see that.
29%. Pricing budget constraints, 27%. Okay, that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense for me. It's a little pricey. You hear this all the time. But perceived lack of performance, only 16%.
Yeah.
Perceived lack of performance. Now that one was shocking for me because
Yeah.
when you talk with, people on the brand side, head of marketing or founders, et cetera, a lot of times what you run into is continual complaints. We have
Yeah.
been to 5 different paid agencies over the past 24 months and nobody can quite get it right. I was surprised that there's only 16%. Maybe this comes into play where, there's a very vocal minority inside of our space where people are getting perceived lack of performance and leaving. Maybe it's just a vocal minority, but I would have expected that to be another third at least, or
Yeah.
even healthier chunk, 40%. This was surprising to me. Only 16% perceived lack of performance.
That's pretty wild. I mean, especially what we hear directly within our industry.
We do.
And so
Yeah.
I would be curious the total survey data for this, whether it's agencies outside of directly our industry. But we always hear this within our industry. It's like, yeah, we've gone through 5 different agencies. And then sometimes you're like, hey, sometimes it's not the agency.
Sometimes it's you.
Sometimes you like they can only skin a cat so many times until it's like, hey, I think this might be you. So
One thing that is not represented here on the acquiring client side, cold outreach, not much there.
yeah,
I didn't see any data there. Now, the good news is Andrew Foxwell, who put this together inside of his community and sourced this survey, he's actually going to be coming on the show to tell us
nice.
more about this, because I think this is a crucial topic for us to discuss, and for everyone inside of the agency space, but also for brands as well, to get insight on, hey, what is it like for my partners over on the other side of the field, so to speak. But something that was interesting, cold outreach, not mentioned here.
Yeah.
Another thing that's not mentioned is actually just meeting people in person and finding ways to shake hands and get to know them. Maybe that fits inside of the referral kind of categorization. But what I have found is that if I can actually meet somebody in person, whether somebody else referred them to me or not, if I can meet somebody in person as a buyer, if I get a good vibe from them, I am 5 times more likely to work with them than I
Yeah.
am somebody else that I don't know, that I've heard about, or maybe I saw an ad from. Actually meeting somebody in person goes a long way for actually
Yeah.
acquiring clients from my experience on the buying side. Yeah, I mean, do you think so, or is that crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. And talking a little bit about that cold email piece of it, I have a friend I talked to yesterday about it who is very good at cold email. He's
Okay.
exceptional at it. And he said, I am not seeing any results until you break 1,000 sends every single day
Wow.
as for cold email. He is currently operating 900 email inboxes. So
Whoa.
900 times 30 a day. And so he is absolutely going bananas on cold email, and he's driving really measurable results for folks outside of the industry and not even within us. But the volume there has to be absolutely
Volume.
exceptional. It's got to be crazy. So, people will spin up like 3 or 4 inboxes and then they start sending and it's like, why don't I have any results? It's like, well, there's a
Yeah.
guy that has 900 that he's outpacing you like 1,200 fold. So
Yeah, I
it's a
know
volume
that
game.
I know that cold outreach gets a bad rap. Okay. I've got plenty of cold outreach inside of my inbox as well. I know it gets a
Yeah.
bad rap, but I mean, one has to find a way. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's getting on the phone, whether it's entering the email, and in
Yeah.
2026, I mean, it's still possible. I myself, I responded to a cold LinkedIn DM, and
Yeah.
I know everybody's always bagging on that, but the guy came in and he actually had something to offer that was very useful to me at the time. And I've had two calls with him, and it's supposed to have a third. That all came from because
Yeah.
he outreached to me and he sent me
Yeah.
something valuable that had something to do with a pressing need that I had at the time. And so I think this is a great point. With enough volume and the right kind of angle for the right kind of person at the right time, it still can work and not make you look like a somebody who's going to become a meme on the internet. I think that's what we're all afraid of when it comes to cold
Y-
outreach.
Yeah. And for LinkedIn and Twitter specifically, it matters your social profile because that is direct social proof for, okay, this guy's legit or not.
Yeah.
The way that I was, the person that I cold DM'd, which started this journey, Raba posted, I'm
Was
looking
it
for a
Rava? Is
product.
that who you cold DM'd?
Rava posted on Twitter, I'm looking for a product marketer at Triple Whale. And
Wow.
I grabbed that and I cold DM'd him and I was
Let's
like,
go, baby.
hey, I'd be super interested in this. Do you want to talk? And he was like, yeah, let's grab 15 minutes.
Boom.
Rest is history.
The rest is history.
You got to keep shooting your shot, folks. I mean, the amount of shots on goal you have to take in life needs to 10x
More.
more.
MOAR more. We have got an astute knower of ball coming in here right now. But before we get to him, we want to talk about AMP. Ladies and gentlemen, AMP, if you can't explain how your business is doing in a sentence or two, if you can't in one place in space, no. How is my CAC? How is my LTV? Are we trending toward forecast or not? Are we up, down, left, right? You need to go to useamp.com today. Get on their tool Lifetimely. Why? Because you want to be able to scale with confidence in 2026. The good news is you get on Lifetimely, get their entire other suite for free. And CEO Patrick Barnes is going to be coming on the show to talk about what they're doing with their AI. You're not going to be prompting it alone. It's going to be prompting you. This offer, this cohort, this product, test this, do that, etc. Go to useamp.com, put profit back in your pocket, and be able to scale with confidence in 2026. Don't you want that? Yeah, you do. Many thanks to AMP for being part of the show. Now, I wanted this guy to come and talk with us. I'm talking about Sean Stone. Don't bring him in yet, Jack. I'm talking about Sean Stone because he has such a unique perspective on a slice of e-commerce that many of us don't know anything about. What am I talking about? I'm talking about bridging legacy Amazon brands who are crushing over there and helping them start themselves in the Shopify ecosystem so they can develop some owned land for themselves. He's been navigating this for about a decade, and he has got incredible insights for us. I'm talking about Sean Stone, founder of Spillover Commerce. Get in here, Sean. Get inside of this show.
Hello.
Yeah. Boy, this conversation's been a long time coming, man. And I know you're on the Pacific Coast right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Greetings from the Pacific Coast. How you doing?
We appreciate you making us the first part of your day here, sir. And if you would, from a foundational level, Sean, I'd love you to just start out to help us understand, and why you probably get some pushback on this, I would imagine at times. Why do Amazon brands who are crushing on that platform, why should they be motivated to divert focus, so to speak, and begin to develop for themselves a Shopify website that's going to take nurturing and building and meta ads, et cetera? Why is it in their favor, and why should they be doing that in 2026?
I mean, I don't think that a lot of brands that I talk to in the Amazon space have a hard time figuring out reasons why they shouldn't, or why they should be diversifying off of Amazon. But there's something that we like to call the big five, which is Amazon is continually getting harder to profit on. The ad costs just keep going up. Fees keep increasing. You do have a single channel trap where if Amazon were to shut down your account, your dollars are gone, not just your profits, your dollars are gone. And it keeps getting more and more complex on how to rank on Amazon. So it's when you talk to the average Amazon first brand, they're not really having hard time finding reasons to not be on Amazon or to diversify off of only Amazon. That's something that's been going on. The straw that broke the camel's back for me was Q1 of 2025. Amazon's report, like they had a report that came out, or like their stock earnings, that kind of thing. Amazon's ad business in Q1 of 2025 was growing 3 times as fast as the retail business. So they're just continuing to capture more value from sellers and putting less dollars in the pockets of small business owners all across America and the world. So that's why Spillover Commerce was born.
Well, it sounds like to me the mood over there is maybe a little bit of the mood in other places. Hey, my costs are going up and I got to find a way to diversify here and add some other income to my P&L so that we can stay afloat. I mean, it sounds like the case.
Yeah, well, and the not having control, you don't have control of your destiny. If one guy at a company can decide to turn off your account, you don't have a business, you have a channel.
Oof. That's
wow.
tough.
That's a line right there. That's an absolute bar. You don't have a business, you have a channel. Wow. That's crazy. Sean, could you kind of talk us through some, success stories of brands where they've been on Amazon and then they made that shift and then the Shopify store absolutely just started exploding. Could you talk through any of those brands?
Yeah. So, and I want to be as educational as possible here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about like what you need, because I think that would help a lot of people. Yeah, and this is also true going the other direction. So if a lot of people who are more like Shopify first brands, you also need these things to be on Amazon and be successful. So the 3 things that we think you need, we know you need. You need Amazon product market fit. Then you also need what we call meta market fit. Now, this could also be TikTok market fit, but the problem with TikTok is it's a machine you have to continually feed, and it's also a marketplace, not a platform you own. So, you're basically just signing up to rent a second house with a different tyrannical landlord when you get on TikTok Shop as an Amazon. So, so I think it's better to have meta market fit, but you can go TikTok market fit or some other channel. But you need to have a demand generation channel and have a good fit with that platform.
Yeah.
And then the third thing you need is platform specific offers. So you need, if you try to sell all the things that you sell on your Amazon store, but on a Shopify store, and there's no differentiation, people are going to see your ads, even if they're great ads. They're going to see your ads, they're going to click in, and then before they buy, they're going to go over to Amazon and be like, oh, it's the same price, it's the same thing, but I've got free shipping. I trust the returns process. I trust everything about this website.
Good point.
If you don't have, you got to give them a reason to buy on Shopify. I say it like that because it's a little bit rhymey, so it's easier for me to remember.
Yeah.
So anyways, like those are the things you need, right? And I wanted to come out and explain first like what you need before I start talking about results. Because if you don't have meta market fit, which is like proof that people are able to sell your products on Meta, then stop talking to me. Like, don't listen to what I have to say, because you have to figure that out. But when it comes to results, the first big company we did this for got a 75K profit swing on just the first product they did it on in 73 days.
Take that.
Wow.
We cut the case study off on November 17th of last year, because Black Friday sales started on November 20th on Amazon, and we didn't want to fudge the numbers. So like I could, instead of 75K profit swing, we could be like, it's 175. But I didn't want to fudge the numbers, because spillover commerce stands on its own. Like it is that powerful. But to me, it's not just so much about that. We've got an excellent case study on our website where we can show that. We've actually been having a hard time getting case studies, because anyone who sells products on Amazon and runs this playbook does not want their competition to know they're doing it.
Yeah, they don't want them to know, brother.
That's the big one we can talk a lot about. But lots of other companies are doing this. Even companies that don't work with our agency are implementing what we'd call the spillover commerce playbook. So I can ramble off a couple of different companies that are doing it right now, and you can go
please
check me on your own.
Yeah.
So there's 4 that I really like, and I don't know if do you guys share screen on this show, or should I just talk it through?
Yeah, just talk through them right now. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the first one, I thought this was a bit of a banger. There's a company called Hatch that sells maternity alarm clocks.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah. So they're the best seller in a category where Amazon also sells a competing product. They outsell Amazon in an Amazon, like when competing with Amazon Echo Glow. That is bananas. Yeah, because Amazon has a $0 advertising cost on Amazon. They can just put their product at the top of the page in the first spot and say, brands from Amazon. Now, even more impressive is the Hatch products are at least twice, sometimes as much as 6 times more expensive than the Amazon Echo Glow. It is absolutely bananas. And what are they doing? They are pumping Facebook traffic. They're pumping Facebook traffic, and they're getting a huge spillover effect from their Shopify website onto the Meta platform, onto the Amazon platform. And they have the bestseller badge on Amazon right now. So that's the first one.
That gives real credence to, hey, if you get off platform, start pushing Meta, then you're going to see an even heavier halo effect and spillover effect when it comes to Amazon. This is one of the best things you can do for your Amazon business, is go start building on Shopify, Meta, product market fit, and pushing that, building a brand there. Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing too is it's actually quite easy to measure. Like if you take, there are tools like Helium 10, but there are also tools inside Amazon's ecosystem for your own brand. And you can take your Meta ad spend and plot it on a graph with your branded searches on Amazon. And you can watch those things be incredibly tightly correlated, because when you spend more on Meta, you do just end up with more people going to Amazon and searching your brand. And that's proof you're generating demand for your own brand.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's an absolute banger.
Give me some perspective for brands coming Amazon side, and they want to build up that Shopify brand forward owned experience, and also Shopify brands doing the same. But what are the characteristics of a typical Amazon first brand? What do they do great at that they need help on? Getting into Shopify, and then the same. What do Shopify brands typically do well or don't do that they need help on when they're trying to make that transition over to Amazon?
So I hope this doesn't come off as a cop-out answer, but they both have the same problem, just the different version. They both make the same mistake. They don't make platform-specific offers. So there are a lot of companies that are, and actually I worked with a makeup brand that did this, and they're a Shopify first brand, and they're spending $15K a day on meta ads, and they could barely cross, I don't know, 10 sales a day on Amazon a lot of the time. Wow. And I told them time and time and time again, they had one big problem, which is that they were selling too high of a price point of an item on their Amazon store. They didn't have a conversion rate focused offer on Amazon. So you need a platform specific offer. And what that means is a form factor of your product that people want to buy on Amazon. Because a lot of the time they're going to buy the smallest, cheapest variation of whatever it is you sell. So maybe if you sell protein powder, you got to sell, instead of 30 scoops, you got to sell a 10 scoop bag to start. Get them on and get them kind of understanding how your brand works. And that's kind of the approach that we've seen. And then the other way around, what Amazon sellers do wrong, and this is, I would say, 4 to 5 of the times I talk to a new brand owner who's like, I need to get off of Amazon, I need to diversify. The first thing I'm telling them is, okay, but why are you selling the exact same products, not in bundles, not anything else on your website? You're not bundling anything. You're not giving people reasons to buy on Shopify. Yeah. Wow. So that's
I didn't even think about that, where you would have to basically have 2 unique offers for both. Unless you don't, you're going to totally cannibalize one or the other.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It makes total sense when you talk about it. But having been in the Shopify world, I would be blindly going through that, and I'd be like, well, we could just duplicate it on Amazon. And then it's like, wait, why isn't it working?
Exactly. I would think, Colin, I would think too, though, when I think about Shopify brands, I think about, I think about creative. I think about people very marketing forward. When I think about Amazon, it's a world I haven't played much in, admittedly, but to me, Amazon seems so much heavier on the logistics, on the operational side, et cetera. And that to me also seems like some bridges to navigate there for people who are strong either way, that want to make the transition either way. Is that fair? Is that crazy?
That's incredibly accurate. Like, the average Amazon brand is operationally excellent. Like, imagine, like, one of the big things your business can never do is go out of stock. These businesses do millions of units a year and they don't go out of stock. That is so hard to do. Their forecasting game is unbelievable. Like, the way that they manage shipments is crazy. But yeah, that's really their forte. And then one of the things that they often struggle with is offers and creatives. The average Amazon brand, I would say the average Amazon brand that I work with does 1 creative shoot per year. And it's just like product photos and maybe a video.
You're right. All right, baby.
Isn't that so hilarious? Like, to watch you guys go like this and go like,
exactly.
Okay, but the reaction you guys just had when I hear about the way that a Shopify first brand manages their operations, I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's so funny just to be on the other side of the table. Like, what does the platform reward? That's what kind of you're forced to develop as a skill set.
Chris, could you imagine telling Shopify brand owners they get 1 shoot a year? as a constraint.
No.
Some of the Shopify brand owners that we know, they'd be like, I do one shoot a week. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
and nor can I imagine telling Shopify first brands like, hey, you need to be so dialed on your operations and your inventory that you do not go out of stock this year. I mean, one of the main characteristics of a Shopify first brand is like, oh, hey, we sold out. Too bad. Come back in 6 months and we'll have another round of that. And so, I mean, just traversing the other side as well. I can't imagine having to be so dialed on that inventory wise. That's an interesting chasm to navigate.
Amazon's organic ranking algorithm aggressively punishes you if you go out of stock. Oof. Like aggressively. Wow. Like a 3 month out of stock can take a bestseller down by 50%.
Wow. This, I mean, just thinking about it from who would shift and actually win, I would probably bet on the Amazon first business shifting to Shopify, because you can basically just like force your way through that and be like, you got to make a ton more stuff. Where taking this Shopify led kind of brain and being like, hey, let's button up your logistics, the Shopify owner's going to be like, this sucks. I hate this.
So every Shopify first brand that I've ever worked with that gets onto Amazon, they always just have one hyper caffeinated, incredibly stressed out human who is director of all operations and logistics. And every time I meet that person, I'm like, I don't know who you are or how you ended up here, but I care. I care about your mental health, and I wish you well.
Sorry, the spot you're in, but we got some stuff to do.
Yeah.
Tell me, Sean, when you were talking, it seems that you are far less excited about TikTok than maybe a number of other persons inside of the ecosystem of e-commerce are. Give me your perspective on that, because it does seem, and they're trying to push more and more into like landlord type, a landlord type role. You have to fulfill with us now for TikTok Shop. Of course, they walk that back. I don't know how long they will have walked that back, but you sell inside of here, and people do have a tough time breaking even sometimes. And they're promising what they're promising is halo effect on Amazon and on other places in large part. Just give us your perspective on what's happening there with TikTok and what you think of it.
So I don't necessarily have a negative view of TikTok. I actually think TikTok is a really interesting platform, but I will say for most people and most Amazon first brands, or most brands that I interact with in general, unless you have a killer owned platform, you're basically just renting new things over and over and over again. Yeah. And that's really my main concern. Now, with that said, TikTok is absolutely excellent when it comes to going viral. Virality on TikTok and getting huge explosions in sales and getting that spillover from TikTok to Amazon is really so huge. It's a big opportunity. Yeah. But one of the drawbacks to that is it's not consistent. Like it's feast or famine, and it's feast or famine on a rented platform. Whereas like if you can get your meta ads up and running, you can consistently move that line up and to the right. And while you do that, linearly grow your business. The opportunity with TikTok is to throw a couple exponential explosions in there. But if you get too into TikTok and too dependent on TikTok, you're dependent on basically creating a magic moment once a week. And I don't know that, I don't know that everyone who runs one of these brands is Walt Disney, who can create magical moments.
It's true.
Yeah.
Sean, for the Amazon novice like me, I mean, what can you expect for a brand? Because I'm very used to very enriched customer data, just getting all the data, feed me all the data. What level of data is Amazon passing back to the end brand? Are you getting just a name and an address? Do you get the email? Do you get the phone number? What other stuff do you get?
I don't think you get anything.
Nothing? You don't get anything?
You don't get anything. They took away email in the one of the hot pieces of information in the last I think, month is they took away email from the API. Yeah, well, that's the rules of Amazon, right? You don't have to go out and generate demand. Latent demand is there. It's there for you to capture. Yeah. And so
they don't even give you the address. The shipping address?
They give you the shipping address, but they don't give you, I think they might give you a first name, they might give you a last name, but they might not even do that anymore.
Gosh.
No, you know what? They do give you first and last name, excuse me. But yeah, they don't first name, last name, address, but like they're not giving you anything else. No way to contact them. It's against the rules of terms of service to contact them about an Amazon order.
That hurts. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Don't build your business solely on rented land, right? I mean, that's like the continual business reminder from people like Cody Sanchez, et cetera, is that you need to own your land. And so, and this to me makes all the sense in the world as fees rise. I mean, I think I saw some data recently that it's like over 50% of people's revenue is now eaten up in fees on Amazon. I mean, that just it hurts my soul to like hear.
Yeah, there's a company called Marketplace Pulse. Shout out to them. They do like really thoughtful pieces, and they analyzed a lot of data and saw that about 50% of sellers' revenue goes to fees on the Amazon platform.
Wow.
So if you sell something for $1, 50+ % of those cents go back to Amazon.
Wow.
But one of the things that just came out, actually, and I'll be quick on this, but one of the things that just came out is the power law dynamics on Amazon have actually gotten worse and worse due to an increased amount of fees and also ad space on Amazon. 50% of sales on any keyword on Amazon are going to 1.5% of the sellers. 1.5%. So if there are 1,000 sellers, 15 of them are making 50% of the revenue.
Golly, man.
That's crazy.
Talk about a top heavy marketplace. Wow.
I mean, that's just insane.
Once some of my clients are on kind of like the receiving end of that, and let me tell you, it is a wonderful place to be once you get there, because your competition just can't do anything to fight back. So crazy. Yeah, I don't love it for the average mom and pop, but it's just the reality of the marketplace.
Yeah, it's the reality of the marketplace.
Sean, I've seen some folks on Amazon who are running successful businesses, and they have a higher-ish AOV. And I've talked with them about what they actually ship out to customers, and they kind of slide in there a free gift with purchase, but you got to get the QR code, and then it's kind of their way of, okay, let's move you out of here. Let's move you into the Shopify ecosystem. Are you a fan of like these?
Be careful.
Smaller-ish giveaway type of deals to get them to shift that customer data over? Or are you like, this is not worth the risk, my friend?
So I'm actually giving a talk in San Diego next week. I live in San Diego, by the way.
Okay,
I'm Canadian.
man.
What up, everyone?
So
I'm giving a talk where we specifically talk about how you can do this. And there's a compliant way and a non-compliant way.
Oh,
there you go.
The non-compliant way is giving away a product. And I'm using an example from my own life. I bought a supplement from Onnit off of Amazon, and they gave me a second supplement absolutely for free just by going to their website and filling out some paperwork.
Exactly.
That is against terms of service. It's explicitly against terms of service. You're not allowed to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a great way to get shut down. I don't think Onnit does it anymore, but I haven't bought anything from Onnit in a long time. It just, at the time, I wanted to try it. One way that is compliant is things like warranties. So you can get someone to go and Anchor, the big electronics brand, does this. They go from Amazon to an Anchor-owned web page. You can fill out the information to get an extended warranty, and then Anchor has all of your customer details. Now, what's amazing about that is you basically have an ideal customer or custom audience of people who've bought your product. They bought your product from Amazon, and you can now remarket to them nonstop on the Meta platform and everywhere else.
Yeah.
Sean, I think we need a couple of things. I think we need you to come back and we need to talk about this more. But man, give us 10 seconds on where people can find you, follow up, because I know a lot of brands either side are navigating this exact problem right now.
Yeah. Okay. So spillovercommerce.com is where you can find me. One of the things I'm passionate about this because I had one of my best friends go bankrupt while selling on Amazon. And if this had been around back when that happened to him, it wouldn't have happened. So we basically, every time I talk to someone, I can figure out within 15 questions if your product or if your business is going to work or not, either direction, putting it on Amazon or getting it on Shopify. What we did was we made a quiz. So on our website in the top right corner, spillovercommerce.com, there's a quiz, and you can just go through that quiz and it'll do the same things I would have done with you on the phone. You don't have to talk to me. There's no sales pitch. You can just figure out if this actually would work for you or not. And it's 90 seconds long. You get instant results. It's completely free. Like, this could be the best 90 seconds you spend this week.
That's awesome.
So go do it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Sean, we appreciate you joining us. We look forward to having you back, man.
Thank you so much. Would love to come back and appreciate you guys.
Well, we have another internet knower of ball who has just
back-to-back
the show back-to-back, straight back. I am talking about the internet's meme lord, the one and only Jason Levin. Jason, get inside of this show, sir. We need you in here right now. Get him in here, Jack. Yes.
All right. Let's go.
Jason, what is up, brother?
What's popping?
Man, we're glad to have you. I have short confessional story here. I have tried to work with Jason several times here and get this forlorn e-com brand off the ground. It never happened, but now Jason is inside of this show. Jason, you are, I would consider, the creator of meme marketing, my friend. But, you've done so many things. You've worked with political figures, some of the biggest names in tech. Now you have the software itself, Memelord.com. And just give us perspective. How did you get here? How did you become the meme maker who is generating millions for yourself and others?
Because of the internet, I guess, man. I'm an internet kid. I've been creating stuff since I was a little kid, just down to, Photoshop when I was in high school, making crazy stickers, selling those online. In college, I would be like freelancing for sororities. I was that kid. And like all of it led to just unhinged marketing and like graphic design, you know what I mean? And like that leads to memes, right? And at the end of the day, like, how do you sell? Like, the oldest form of marketing is humor, right? Like, It's been around for thousands of years. I wrote the book Memes Make Millions, and doing that research, like, it led me to believe fully that memes are just the latest form of funny posters or funny ads that people saw in the newspaper. And I just take my memes seriously, man. I guess that's the short answer, is I just take memes more seriously probably than anybody alive. And like, I think if you take anything seriously, especially your silliness, you tend to have success. Yeah.
Love that. I find, Jason, that when you reach a certain point in revenue inside of a company, I would just say, Colin, in our world, probably get to 8 figures. I find that founders and marketers, heads of departments, man, they get so serious about protecting brand, and not putting any piece of content out that would offend anybody in the world ever. Right. Man, from a foundational point, just make the case for us why that's wrong and why people should lean into making their ideal customer laugh, and how that's got power to it and can stand out in the timeline.
Yeah, I would just say humor is a lever to pull like anything else. It shouldn't be your whole strategy, and memes will never save your brand. It's just a lever, right? Like anything else, it's a lever, like a serious long article from your CEO. It's a lever like pulling the podcast lever. And so if your brand needs some spicing up and you want to, figure that out and you feel comfortable doing that, go for it. It's funny, man. Like, I am the meme lord, the meme marketing guy. I wrote a book about it. I own that, but like, not every brand should do it, right? Like, I'm actually serious about that. Like, you should be funny, yes, but like, I say this seriously. I own a lot of old Playboys for the ads. I promise you, it's for the ads, mostly. But like, it's like they were just clever ads, right? And like, you don't have to do memes. I think you should, but like, you could do it in your own style. Like, at the end of the day, Memelord like is used for all sorts of funny marketing, and I think like if you want to speak the language of the internet, the younger kids who are getting more and more money, right? Like, you have 20 somethings with multi-million dollar budgets, right? Who are founders and CMOs. And this was part of our pitch deck was there's going to be a broccoli haired, Gen Z, Gen Alpha public company CEO very soon, right?
That's true.
He's going to be shit posting on the timeline. The younger kids, they have money. And so if you want to do that, you speak unhinged, you speak real, especially like, I really doubled down on memes when ChatGPT came out because I saw the whole world was turning boring. And they always say like, oh, the real way to stand out is typos, right? No, it's be so unhinged that AI can never copy you, and be so authentically you that AI can't tell your story. So that's what I'd say to the serious brands. I'd also look at direction at people way ahead of me. Like, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, is posting memes all the time. He just did his public company quarterly call with Subway Surfer next to him, right? You look at plenty of public companies, fucking Palantir is posting memes, right?
That's true.
And Anduril and Elon can do it. So can your, 8-figure brand. I think a lot of brands get scared once they have, something to protect. And also a lot of like the early people might leave at a certain point who had like the humor and charisma to start a company.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's spice it up, man. Like anybody can benefit in some aspect. And at the end of the day, memes are also just like trending ideas, right? Like you don't have to use some political format, but you could like know what's going on in the world, right? I don't know. It's just a way to speak to people, in my opinion. And anybody should know how to speak that language if you're marketing.
Yeah. When I was at Triple Whale, a software company, we were
Tommy
using that.
was good
Yeah,
at
Tommy.
it.
So Tommy was using the Hasbulla memes.
Yes, he was.
Dude,
I
he
loved
was
it.
dirty. He was dirty with that. I don't know why. He just loved that meme.
And I was a huge fan because he would share them in the Slack channel with us. He'd be like,
Yeah.
how funny is this? And I'd be like, oh, that's a great meme. Like, please share that. And he would constantly go viral by just leveraging Hasbulla. And we're like, I guess this is our path now.
Dude, it's so funny.
Have-
that's literally the
Yeah.
meme of like the social media manager who like does the random shit and it just works. It's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
It's
That's
great.
him, personified. But do you have any brands that you can point to now where you're saying, wow, they're doing a great job at memes, and they're kind of towing that line of this is still super funny?
Yeah. I would say, one of the reasons why I guess we talked was around Brian Johnson.
Yes.
I think like Brian's team is just absolutely killing it. He's one of my heroes in the marketing world. He is opinionated. He doesn't care who attacks him. He is cancelable. And that is what great marketing is it offends some people to find the right people. Extremely serious mission, right? Living long, no matter what you think about longevity or health or supplements, he is authentically obsessed with that mission, and it offends some people. He loves it, but he's able to make people laugh and also make fun of himself, which I think is crucial.
It's true.
I mean, the other one there actually, again, is just like Palantir. It's the fact that like you have, Palantir marketers posting memes when they are one of, if not the most serious company to our world's, the country's infrastructure. Like, you also have the government posting memes. That was in my deck, right? Like, was the fact that the government is posting memes is the fact that every politician has some Memelord, right? Or some crack Gen Z kid helping them, right? And so, I mean, it's just proof that you could be both serious and funny. You have, again, like Palmer, right? Palmer Luckey is getting called Memelord in articles again and again, which is great SEO for me. But
it's great for you.
Yeah, it's great. But like, he's working on stuff that is much more serious than the average Joe. And I think like, I don't know. I think a lot of people are just scared to be themselves on the internet, and once you get over that fear, it makes everything a lot easier, including marketing and making money, I think.
I think this is a great point, and there will be a lot of debates about, some of the companies, the government, Palantir, et cetera. There's a lot of debate about, should they be sharing that kind of stuff? But the one thing you cannot debate is the effect. And the effect is traffic, and it's shares, and it's retweets, and you cannot debate the effect. And it does seem to tie into being okay with just kind of getting over yourself and being able to be hated, and it's going to offend others. But the effect is that the people who love you even more, they share and they skyrocket traffic, etc.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd rather be loved for who I am, and I'd rather post some silly stuff and get hated on. And it's happened to me. I've had hit piece after hit piece for some of my work, and I've had love pieces as well, right? Like that's just life, It's, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Colin.
I would say put yourself in the scared social media coordinator that's trying to get her boss's approval on memes. She wants to do something. How are you breaking through that CMO and you're like, hey, I really want to try this. Can you just like take a bet on me? How are you approaching that? Are you using data? Are you using the examples that you're using? But I'm super, super curious how you would tackle that.
Yeah, I would say two things. One is you can start experimenting with side accounts, which a lot of brands do. And so a lot of the best software brands and e-commerce brands, and we actually do that for brands as well on the low. And so if you want to do that without the risk on the main page, I would do that. And then the second one is just kind of like, quick little experiments, just even on your personal account. I think that's how I proved it to one of the founders that I used to work with, where she saw, before I got into doing what I'm doing now and running my own company, I was the ghostwriter for founders and VCs, right? And so I was shit posting myself, having fun and going viral. And then they would be like, yo, give me some of that, right? And at first I was writing all the serious posts for them, but slowly they started asking me more and more and feeling comfortable. So, I mean, at the end of the day, my opinion, you should only hire a social media manager if they are posting themselves anyways. But I would just tell her to prove it for yourself. If you're going viral and people are still converting and doing that, then think of it like a portfolio almost and proof of it working for your niche and brand. Because memes will work for any niche and every brand, from defense, like I was talking about, to health and e-commerce and a lot around software, like B2B SaaS, dude. Like, we have a lot of B2B SaaS customers. You'd be surprised. Like, all they need is a few, clients, and they're making a lot of profit. So
I think this should not be skipped over on the low. Just a few side accounts, perhaps, just on the low. Man,
I love that.
Take us back, Jason. I want your opinion on this. Brian Johnson had the intense kind of debate with AG1, and he's coming out saying, hey, your product is trash, basically, is what he's saying. Yeah. He's citing research to it, etc. AG1 definitely did some brand account response, but to me, there was almost no debate to be had, simply for two reasons. Number one, Brian Johnson, incredible personal brand. Okay. It's coming from a person instead of a brand account. Number two, once the guy started memifying the entire thing and making people laugh, there's like no debate. There's like no argument to be had. He's already won.
So good.
Yeah, that my common saying is the best response to ridicule is to be ridiculous, right? Because it's like you're getting bullied as a kid. Like, if you just like fuck around and laugh, like, they stop, right? And it shows that you're tougher, even if it's just in your head, right? Even if you're just faking it, right? And so when I was getting hit pieces, like, what did I do is I literally paid a videographer to meet me down at City Hall, and I pretended to run for mayor and then answered every single question with a ridiculous answer to the next level, right? And so it's the exact same thing. And so I don't know, speaking for like Brian and AG1, or speaking about them, is like AG1 has no personal brand anymore. I'm not sure if they ever had one besides Tim Ferriss podcast ads. And like Brian has a cult, and so like you just don't mess with the cult. And the simple fact is, like, I don't know, man, I've had both products, and I can tell you that my fridge is stacked with Brian Johnson stuff right now. It's pretty sick. So I don't know, it's good. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's so cool about Brian too, is like memes are just top of funnel for the smart stuff, right? It's like Brian, like nobody would listen to Brian if he didn't do, millions and $1 million of research, just because, it's like he has a real product and real science. Like, that's what I always tell people. Memes can't save you. You actually do have to have real shit too, and a real business. And, he's a genius. So, yeah.
I love that.
This all seems to me to be almost like it's almost like a reaction to what I would kind of classify my generation's the bland kind of millennial brand that just appeals to everyone.
So, like, I grew up on, funny marketing. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the GoDaddy commercials. Like, that's what I thought marketing was like. And then I think what happened was, like, the woke era and kind of millennial, like, whatever, like, ruined it for kids my age, in between, like, I'm 28, like, ages like 18 to 30, 21 to 30, you get out of college and now your job is just Meta Business Center and like corporate BS. And it's like, this is all, you're 100% right. This is all a reaction to like me dreaming of being in Mad Men and me being stuck in Meta Business Center. Like, that is that's my entire life story right there, dude. Is like, it's just that. And so you're dead on. It's just like, marketers are pissed off and we're sick of it, man. We want to have fun. That's what being a marketer is like sharing crazy ideas. Like, that is what marketing is. And like, I think a lot of people forgot that in the wave of, wokeness and cancellation of brands. Is like, you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be sexy and goofy and silly. Like, that's what marketing is. Like, that is marketing. I don't know. It's all a reaction. Yeah, 100%. You're right.
Man, I think you're touching a nerve there, and I see that. Yeah. I think we're seeing that across many different categories. Colin, I want to take this one more way before we get out of here, and we appreciate Jason joining us and giving us his time. Where do you want to take this before we give him one more and get him out of here?
For sure. I mean, I think after this show, I'm going to try to dive into memes for Eastern Cowboy.
Yes.
How should we be thinking about it? How should we be thinking also about the timeliness of things for trying to find the source for things, being in the zeitgeist, so to speak? How would you approach that?
I'm signed up right now, Jason.
There we go.
I am a forthcoming meme lord.
There we go. So memelord.com sends you notifications for all the newest memes through iOS. You'll just get a notification, and also on web as well. And so what I would recommend is take those in the zeitgeist. Don't choose everything, but choose ones that are related. And for you guys specifically, slap some cowboy hats on them. Make them, add some memes around different, add some captions around e-commerce, maybe around things in the zeitgeist. So it combines both your brand, it combines the zeitgeist, and it also combines your niche around e-commerce. I probably wouldn't do it every single one with, the brand in it, but I would, take what's in the zeitgeist and then share it. And I'd also recommend just like, jumping into like the social aspect. Like, I was on the phone. I don't know if you guys know that guy Zane. He posts like,
we
were on
here.
Yeah. Oh, he's great, dude. And like, he's so good at like the zeitgeist of like, it's so like nobody outside of e-commerce gets it. And like, I only get it because like I've like, I'm in this world, but like, I think doubling down on that, like, you don't have to go mega viral to like be a niche celebrity in that world. And I think a lot of people forget that or like don't think about that, and I think he does that very well, where only like everybody in this world loves him, right? Or thinks he's hilarious, or is scared of him.
Exactly.
Which is fine, right? But like I would say lean into that.
Zane is he's a great example of, hey, I just signed this 9-figure client to do TikTok shops with us. Why? Because I'm funny on the internet. You know what I mean? He's such a great
literally
example.
it, man. I mean, dude, we got on the phone because I couldn't reset his password, and so I had to have my phone with him the other day, and then he immediately gets off and just starts posting bangers from Memelord, like just firing them off. I was
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Well, I am signed up, and if there was a world that existed where, the meme lords could run a side account for people, that would be awesome. Too bad it doesn't exist on the low. But I think everybody needs to go and sign up at memelord.com
Yeah.
and get in there. And why not tap in? Why not tap into that and make it a part of your marketing mix? Doesn't have to be everything, but a crucial part that for a lot of brands too scared to even try. Is that fair, Jason?
100%. Just try it, and I assure you, it's more fun than being locked in Google AdSense or Meta Business Center or whatever.
That's a true. I think so. I think so. Jason Levin, Memelord. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to having you back, man.
See you, man. Memes. And now I'm remembering all the memes that Tommy made at Triple Whale and how viral they went on Twitter. And now I'm like, why have I not been doing memes?
Exactly. I mean, I think, okay, I think we should talk about this now because Triple Whale went on a generational run. Generational run of just the e-com community being endeared to the software.
In the culture. Yeah.
How did that happen? I mean, I would say number one, a number of like personal brands, identities working inside of the company that were active on social around. Obviously, there was Raba, there was Lex, there was you, there was, there was people working there that people actually liked and were active on the internet. Number two, Tommy's memes, they were just funny, man. They were just funny. And then you bring that together. It's like, yeah, I do want to come to that event because I like these people and they are funny and I want to hang out with them.
Yeah, the Hasbulla of memes, they still get me every time. Like, I don't know, every single time I'll laugh because they'll just share one. There was one that Hasbulla is trying on like oversized clothes and it's like way too big for him. It gets me every time. I'm like, that's so funny. I have to laugh at that.
Every time. It gets me every time. It's so hilarious. Wow. A couple of back-to-back banger guests there.
Heat.
Absolute heat. Gas for the show. Jack, as we move forward here, I want to go back and talk about Postscript. We need to talk about Postscript, ladies and gentlemen. Just like our guests have been singularly focused on what they do, Postscript is singularly focused on SMS marketing. It is all they do. And I know whoever you're using for SMS right now, they do 6 or 7 things all together at one time. And what's the result of that? A higgledy-piggledy kind of conflagration. It gets you higgledy-piggledy results. When people make the switch to Postscript, all they do is obsess over SMS, and you see an average plus 22% increase in SMS revenue. Now, I did not get that. I got a lot more than that. Why? Because I did what they told me to do. We went from making very little money on SMS to being a top 1% account on their entire platform. If you go to postscript.io/SMS-benchmarks, you're going to get great info on my vertical, our revenue band, what's normal for us to be doing on SMS, and how can we get up and to the right. Many thanks for Postscript being part of the show. Go work with them. Let them help you make money. Tell them Colin I sent you. You'll be glad that you did. Now, moving forward here, we should talk about this incredible Netflix story. That's where I want to go next. This Netflix story, I am so excited about. Netflix has tapped Amazon's shopping data to sharpen ad targeting. What does that mean? Okay, let me read this to you. Netflix has partnered with Amazon DSP to enable programmatic ad buying powered by Amazon's shopping-informed audience data. The rollout began in Q4 2025. Expansions continue now. Netflix CPMs are sitting around, what would you guess? $30. $30. Wow. Okay, now they are partnered with not just being able to target people demographically in certain regions. Now they have all of these accounts, Amazon purchase behaviors backed behind them. Okay, so you can know what this person has bought before. What do they like to buy? Is that adjacent or inside of your category exactly? This is this ad industry's most consequential data partnership in years. Netflix has just handed Amazon a legitimizing role in CTV. And why wouldn't every D2C brand see how can I take advantage of this thing? If I can get $30 CPMs with Amazon's data behind it to know What do people like? And this was the big thing with Sean Collins. Amazon, they don't give you any info. Okay. They're not going to share anything. Okay. Well, they're giving that info to Netflix. They are giving it to Netflix.
Wow.
And you can reach all of those people via CTV for $30 CPMs. Is this not an automatic buy? I love this.
I mean, that's huge. The fact that you're getting that Amazon enrichment of data is huge. I mean, I wish that OpenAI would take notes on this, folks. Like, what are we doing here? We obviously want more data from the customers, and we know that you have it, OpenAI. Just give it back to us so that we can target better, so that we'll spend more money with you. This is how this is going to work.
Exactly.
And so Netflix, if they're holding on $30 CPMs and this actually works out really well with some enrichment, this could be a game changer of a channel for a lot of folks.
Game changer. Now, a couple of things I don't know. I don't know how much money do I got to spend to get in there. I don't know.
There's probably
it's probably significant. One would think. Okay. But I will say, you referenced OpenAI. You know, when Netflix first rolled this out, CPMs were sitting at about $65 and the price was too high. And so they had to roll it back to 30. And still, you know, advertisers have been like, that's okay. But now you add Amazon enriched data on the back end of that, and you give me $30 CPMs. Now I'm excited, big boy. I'm excited. I mean,
give me a low minimum too. Give me a super low minimum so that I can pitch my boss this, and I can have a super low minimum. You give me $30 CPMs. You give me Amazon data. I can package that up. And if I'm a brand CMO, I can make that pitch to my boss and like, hey, let's try this out next quarter.
Yeah, let me read a little bit more to you here. By applying Amazon's exclusive signals to Netflix's highly engaged viewers, which they are highly engaged. Yeah, they're the more you watch, the more they watch on that platform, the more engaged with ads they are, which is unique. It's just unique. They are highly engaged. By applying Amazon's exclusive signals to Netflix's highly engaged viewers, advertisers can reach the right audiences and drive even stronger performance. The move deepens Netflix's push into performance advertising territory. Rather than relying solely on contextual or demographic targeting, advertisers can now reach members based on what they are actively shopping for. I say again, based on what they are currently actively shopping for on Amazon, bringing commerce data directly into connected TV. This makes connected TV so exciting to me.
Yeah, I see this as, I'm just trying to think of how this would work for some brands that would crush with this. Like Jones Road Beauty could easily crush Amazon, Netflix ads with Amazon data on Love is Blind, and they could do it every single season because Love is Blind comes out every single season. That's a perfect demo for them. And they now have this seasonal, you know, kind of spend that they're baking into. This is a huge home run. If you can also hook onto a show with Netflix that is, it has congruent seasons, and you know it's going to be they're going to keep re-upping it. Example again is Love is Blind, but you know the demo, and you can like kind of just keep baking into this, and they'll just make episodes forever. I love this so much.
I love it. I wish that the old company that I used to work at, Bruce Bolt, why wouldn't Bruce Bolt take advantage of the new documentary that came out about the World Baseball Classic? Why wouldn't they take advantage of that and lay over Bruce Bolt gloves inside targeting that specific series and be able to take things up and to the right? I mean, it just makes so much sense. And why not refine it a little more? I want to reach people who are watching the show that are actively shopping for batting gloves on Amazon right now. Done. Hello, done. I was like, what are we doing?
F1 brands, Drive to Survive.
Yeah,
done. It's done. You already. It's right there. The overlay's perfect.
Overlay's perfect. Why not 8 Sleep? You know, 8 Sleep, they just made that big investment to be a partner with, I cannot remember what car, but why wouldn't they overlay ads inside of the F1 Drive to Survive series for people who are searching for sleep betterment products? Why wouldn't they do that, you know?
Hyper target. Perfect.
I love this. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. we need to have somebody from Netflix on here to give us some deets, because I think the buy-in might be significant, but it's going to be incredible for the right brand. I mean, $30 CPMs with Amazon's data for what people are currently shopping for. That is bananas.
Not to be an absolute nerd about this, but most other streaming platforms should take notes and then integrate with Shopify's MCP that they released.
Yeah.
So imagine this, but with Shopify data.
Yeah.
And then you're pushing Shopify customer data back to Hulu. And now Hulu has your Shopify history of what you've been shopping for. And it's the same type of thing. And Netflix just gave you the playbook, $30 CPMs. Let's roll.
Let's roll. $30 CPMs with targeted data behind it.
Oh yeah.
Kind of tangential here. Did you know that Ryan Reynolds is now a part of Mountain? MNTN, Mountain. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's co-owner.
I did not know that. I did not know that. That guy's like sneakily like co-CEO of so many like brands I would not expect. But Mountain is one of them.
Yeah, he sold Mint Mobile to AT&T.
Did he really?
And I think he made a couple $2 billion off of that. And now all Mint Mobile users are basically using. Oh no, he sold it to T-Mobile, and now all Mint Mobile users use T-Mobile the network now. The same thing with Mountain. He's basically scaling that up with Mint Mobile too. It's unreal.
That's hilarious. Before we move forward to our next story, let's talk about Incense. Incense, ladies and gentlemen, it is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform that actually makes creative scalable. You know the problem, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we all want banger ads made by real humans that allow us to grow, but that process is so disjointed, manually negotiating usage rights, finding the right creators, et cetera, et cetera. Inside of Incense, all in one place and space, you get a vetted creator marketplace, automated influencer outreach, built-in campaigns management, and you can get content in as little as 14 days. Okay, this is so far and beyond just finding some random TikTok that you hope works for you. It's about building real relationships with real humans and actually really scaling your account. And I will say this, if you don't have the bandwidth to do this in-house, even with their tools, they have a managed service. Go to incense.pro, book a demo, and you can try this thing out for free. Go on the platform, try it out for free. Tell them Colin and I sent you. Start working with the Incense today. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Okay, our next story is about Gen Z at work. And this story fascinates me. Okay, I know that I've been at times a little down on Gen Z, but I want to read some of this article and I want to contrast it with what Michael Girdley actually just tweeted as well. Michael Girdley says, I'll give the point from the jump. Michael Girdley says Gen Z is like the greatest generation 2.0. Mic drop. Okay, bars. He says Gen Z is like the greatest generation 2.0 because of how much they are pushing into entrepreneurship and betting on themselves. Now, let me contrast that with what the Wall Street Journal released here recently. Only 56% of Gen Z adults reach adulthood having had a romantic relationship, compared to over 75% for previous generations, which is a problem because, as the Wall Street Journal posits, those early relationships are where people learn core workplace skills like expressing emotions, cooperating, and managing conflict. I have a lot of friends who hadn't had serious romantic relationships by early adulthood, but still have very good careers. In fact, the lack of romantic relationships is why they had the careers they did. But making things worse for this generation is that more college students learn online than in person, stripping away the in-person social learning, team collaboration, networking, reading norms that educational environments traditionally provide. NYU psychology professor Tessa West warns that if this trend continues, quote, we are heading for a crisis, a generation of employees who never become seasoned insiders incapable of either collaborating or leading. Okay, now this tweet from Michael Girdley, he is saying just the opposite here. He's actually quoting another piece from the Wall Street Journal. What Girdley loves about Gen Z is that he says this feels like Generation 2.0 reacting to a world that feels rigged by betting on themselves. I work with a ton of them, great colleagues, 10 out of 10, no notes. So he's commenting on how many people are betting on themselves, starting new companies, and he's citing Gen Z especially as, hey, this is a great generation. If the society feels rigged, I'm betting on myself. I'm starting a company. What are your thoughts? A couple of very different views here about an excellent generation that is coming up underneath us. What do you think of this, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a great example of it on the show, Jason. I mean, this is the prime example of someone who just said, I don't like the way that this is going. I don't like the way that this corporate structure is built out for me. I think I'm going to try to do this thing instead. It sounds way more fun. I've projected, I don't want to do this for the next 20 years of my life. Ryan, who was just also on the show as well, same thing with him. He's kind of looking down the pipe of this and saying, I don't want to do this for the next 20 years of my life. This doesn't look fun. I think I want to bet on myself again. I mean, there's that coupled with macro trends of uncertainty where you're living through multiple recessions, you're living through a global pandemic, you're living through crazy tailwinds, and Gen Z's just kind of had enough of it where it's like, okay, the structure and the foundation underneath of me is shaking. I can't trust it anymore. I think I'm just going to keep going to bat for myself and see how it shakes out instead.
I do think that there are some objective facts that the Wall Street Journal is citing here that they just are true. I mean, sorry to say, but there was another point of research that came out recently that Gen Z is the first generation not to get smarter in terms of IQ scores. And that's the first time that's happened, when it comes from greatest generation, boomers, Gen X, millennials, everybody's getting a higher IQ. The point of that research was saying like, hey, all these things that have happened, cell phones, not being in person, not reading analog books, all of these things have combined to put Gen Z at a disadvantage, and we can talk about, COVID, we can talk about a number of other things that have come. But what I want to recognize, and I think you hit on it and Girdley has hit on it too, and Jason is an incredible example in a situation where, hey, this game feels rigged. What I appreciate about Gen Z is the forwardness, the directness of like, hey, I don't like this. And I don't think that this is going to play out for me like my boomer grandparents, or I don't think that this is going to play out for me like my Gen X uncle. Like, I don't think this path of I go to college, I get the thing, and then I just stay in corporate for the next few decades and I'm set up. That's not going to work for me. The situation is different.
Totally.
Let me come at this differently with some different energy. Like Jason's incredible example. Let me be funny on the internet and enable people with some niche software to stand out in the timeline. I love that. I love that.
I absolutely love that. Yeah. I also want to poke back against the IQ point that they make about Gen Z. Boomers are still getting fooled with nano banana fake Photoshop images. And so we can kind of say, hey, IQ and all of that, but I'm talking about interacting with the world as we know it today. You can text your boomer parents, grandparents, a nano banana Photoshop version of you with like whoever you want. They're going to be like, oh, congratulations. Good job meeting them. I mean, we need to talk about the reality that we live in today with that type of stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. It's a good point. It's a good point you made there. Before we hit our last round before we hit the lightning round of some of the most interesting things on the timeline, let's talk about Seguno, ladies and gentlemen. Seguno is the only marketing place that lives entirely inside of Shopify. Why is that important? It means your emails and your banners and your reviews, all of that is in the place you already work and play. And it means that your Shopify data is your data. You don't have to trust in some data synced, duct taped integration where hopefully your email results actually correlate with what is happening in Shopify. This is email 3.0, okay? And this is a big reason why Seguno got 2024 Shopify's Build App of the Year, okay? They are making the bet that in 2026, Shopify should be your commerce OS and all of your data should live there in the age of AI. One-click automations, actual humans who can help you. If you don't have a full-time email marketer on your team, Seguno was built for you. Lean teams with big aspirations. Go to Seguno.com. They will give you a free trial. If you tell them Colin and I sent you, they will extend that free trial to 30 days. Many thanks to Seguno for being part of the show. Now, Icon, who we have mentioned several times, they are going viral again.
Oh,
Levels
gosh.
IO has mentioned them here. This news has been out there.
Always.
We have covered it. We covered it, I mean, weeks ago, actually.
Yeah.
Icon, the AI ad maker, just went bankrupt. That's what Levels is saying here. They paid $12 million for the domain, icon.com, and now it's dead. Little heat coming their way. But appreciate this perspective from Sean Frank, which is what we said on the show. They
It's
get a lot of
true.
hate, but they were just early. Guys, Icon was early. Icon was just early. They were just early. Higgs Field is the same premise. And now they're doing something like 100 million ARR is what he is citing here. AI is still coming for all content. Sean even says that it will be 80% of an ad account within 12 months. I mean, that's a big statement there. And maybe it will be. Maybe it will be.
Maybe it will be.
We know from agencies from Foxwell that only 11% of them have had some of their best performing ads in the account come from AI generated content. But I appreciated this perspective from Sean, and hopefully he's a listener of the show. We agree. We were saying the exact same thing just a few days ago. Your thoughts, Colin?
Yeah, I appreciate people going for it. I appreciate people trying to take the swing within the community. And I always want people to feel like they are able to take a swing and go for something within the community. And so I don't think, I don't have any vested interest with them, or I never tried the product out. I talked to a couple folks that tried it out. They were a little disappointed. But I think people should always be taking bets, and we should commend them for be willing to take this bet. It sucks to fail as a company. I've been through it multiple times. It sucks. It's not fun. I can promise you that the founder of this is not in a great spirit for this failing very publicly. And you shouldn't, make light of that and kind of dance on the grave, so to speak, of that.
Yeah, I am very impressed with Kennan, their founder. He's also co-founder of Skio. Okay.
Correct.
Obviously knows what he's doing. I think he's going to
Yeah.
be back. I don't even know that Icon is dead. I don't know that anybody does. They just know that the website is down. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a way that Icon returns with the current AI gen capabilities that we did not have a year ago. And for sure, Kennan's going to be back. I mean, that guy is. I have personally interacted with him. I don't know him personally, but his track record, and it can only portray into more success in the future. So wish him the best. And Icon, incredible idea. Didn't exactly nail the timing just right, but
Sure.
can you blame the guy for being early? I mean, it would have been right on. It would have been right dead on if it were just a few months later. And I think Higgsfield, like he said, is a great example of that.
I think that's a kudos to him for his ability to see around corners.
Exactly.
If you're super early to something, it means that you see it coming down the pipe.
Exactly.
And he was just a couple months too early, where he's probably, I'm sure he's kicking himself for being like that. I mean, it just sucks. But you have to also see that he saw that and he put a fund together. This is no small feat, folks, to put a fund behind to do that type of fundraising from the premier investors that they did. Kudos to him.
No small feat. No small feat. The credit card game may have ended. The points game may have ended for many of us and taking full advantage of our point multiples on Meta. But another interesting entry into the credit card game is Robinhood. They have released a what I would call a no points, no problem credit card entry into the arena. I'm going to read this tweet. Robinhood just launched a platinum card, and it's looking like the single best credit card deal out there. The best perk, functional health, 100+ lab tests covering organ function to cancer markers, kind of panel insurance won't cover. Normally costs $500 a year. Cards annual fee is $695. $250 in DoorDash credits plus Dash Pass, $200 per year for Whoop, free Amazon One medical, unlimited priority pass lounges, 5% back on flights and restaurants. You got global entry, TSA pre-check, a number of things. Very interesting movement. And I don't know if this was planned. I'm sure they had this coming forth a long time, but it is interesting right on the back of the travel points game being shut down for many inside of our space and what they were fortunately able to leverage for advertising in the past. What do you think of this, Colin?
Unbelievable. I mean, this is such a great move from them. If you're following Robinhood very closely, I have been, just being a nerd within the space. I have a family friend that is working pretty high up at the company, and she's been there a while. They have done a ton of exceptional moves the past 6 to 12 months to really diversify and solidify themselves as an extremely serious company. And you can see within the stock price, it reflects it almost, irrecoverably. It's going up and to the right. It is absolutely bananas. You have the Robinhood Gold card as well that took off. You have the high yield savings accounts that are also in there. You have the new terms that are going for the actual trading within Robinhood as well. This is unbelievable. This is another great move. I think they're going to take a bunch of people's lunches with this card.
I'm not making the move just yet. I want to see if there's some way to resurrect my travel points. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Surely somebody's going to come forth here and enable me to have a free vacay with my family per year. That is my hope. I'm not making the jump yet. I want to see what might happen for my Chase ultimate reward points. We'll see. Now, to close this out, the collaboration that no one asked for, but the internet loves, nevertheless. Anthropic and Nike and this leather jacket that looks like it's from 1992. I think that you love this. Tell us why you love it and why you would wear it out to dinner tonight if you could.
This is so great. I have texted with Ray, the founder of Scene, who's been on this show multiple times. And I have this theory that I think all great brands should have a exceptional jacket that basically just cuts through the noise of everything, cuts through the timeline, it cuts through all of it, and is a standalone piece. This is so awesome. This is incredible. You can't not wear this and just feel like this is so great. I'm in the zeitgeist of tech. I bet you somebody wants to walk around with SF so badly right now with this on. You would get so many compliments. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's absolutely hilarious, and I love it so much. I want it today.
If I was in SF, I would rock it and go to a Blue Bottle Coffee and, walk around the Battery, and I would love it. I would dig it.
Yeah.
As soon as I get on the plane to go back from hence where I came, I would take that thing off and probably never wear it again. But hey, great cred for a very niche crowd. A very valuable crowd, lots of money inside of that crowd, and let's see if it comes forth. I'm a fan. I'd love to see it if it does exist. I'm probably not going to throw down the bucks for it, but I celebrate the creativity of the product.
It's so good,
nonetheless.
Yeah, the way Jensen has that leather jacket for NVIDIA. This can be Anthropic CEO's leather jacket if you rock this.
Yeah, we got to put Dario in that bad baby. Many thanks to Sean Stone and Jason Levin for joining the show. Many thanks to Incense and Seguno and Postscript and AMP for making this thing possible. We have got a triple header tomorrow. We've got a triple header coming tomorrow. We got Jordan from Social Commerce Club coming. We've got Matt from Huron coming. We've got Taylor Holiday to come and talk with us about the 10% OpEx e-com future in D2C. Probably the most stacked day that we've ever had tomorrow. Is that fair? Heat.
We got heat tomorrow.
Absolute gas on the timeline. Tune in live to catch it live and in living color. Many thanks for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow.